The Prime Minister was on a whirlwind three-nation tour of Japan, Papua New Guinea and Australia. A new flashpoint took centre stage back home, with the majority of opposition parties saying in one voice that they will not be attending the Parliament inauguration on May 28. Today, after he landed, he didn't waste any time to school the boycott brigade. He said something that he witnessed himself on foreign soil, referring to the mega community event in Sydney that was attended by over 20,000 people. The Prime Minister said that not only was the Prime Minister of Australia in the audience, but the country's former PM and opposition MPs came together for the sake of their country. Listen in.
साथियों, आपको जानकर के खुशी होगी, और मैंने अब तक जितना भी कुछ देखा पढ़ा, मुझे इस बात की तरफ ध्यान नहीं गया है मेरा, और इसलिए मैं बताना चाहता हूं, भारतीय समुदाय का जो कार्यक्रम था, वहां ऑस्ट्रेलिया के प्रधानमंत्री का आना गौरव की बात थी। लेकिन इतना ही नहीं, उस समारोह में पूर्व प्रधानमंत्री भी थे। उस समारोह में पूरी अपोजिशन पार्टी के मेंबर से, रूलिंग पार्टी के मेंबर से, ये लोकतंत्र का वातावरण ऑस्ट्रेलिया के लोग में भारतीयों के प्रति, चाहे पक्ष सत्ता का हो, चाहे पक्ष विपक्ष का हो, सबके सब मिलजुल करके भारतीय समुदाय के इस कार्यक्रम में उतने ही उमंग और उत्साह के साथ शरीक हुए थे।
Now, it seems that the inauguration of the new parliament has driven a wedge between opposition parties. Over 20 parties have given in writing that they will skip the event, saying that the soul of democracy has been sucked out. However, Chandrababu Naidu's TDP, Jagan Reddy's YSRCP, Mayawati's BSP, Naveen Patnaik's BJD and Sukhbir Badal's Akali Dal have chosen to rise above politics to support the inauguration. The protesting opposition maintains that Parliament is not the Prime Minister's fiefdom, and the President, who comes from the tribal community, is being insulted by the Prime Minister's act.
Therefore, we wanted that Honorable President Draupadi Murmu ji should be invited to inaugurate the Parliament. Because of the arrogant nature of this government, they are not ready to do that thing. They are insulting the President. They are insulting the women of the country. They are insulting the tribals of this country. I request Padmaja Joshi ji to reconsider the decision. Instead, invite Honorable President. We all will be part of that historic function. Why this kind of RSS mindset shown? And they are denigrating the office of the President of India.
Sources indicate that the Rajya Sabha Deputy Chairman will be reading out the message of the President and the Vice President. Also, that Rajya Sabha's leader of opposition will be given the opportunity to address the event. The event will culminate with Prime Minister's address. Pulling no punches, the centre reminded the opposition of its double standards, showing them the mirror. Home Minister Amit Shah recounted how multiple times the institutions of our democracy were inaugurated by chief ministers and even by those who never held any ministerial positions.
आजादी के अमृत महोत्सव के वर्ष में देश की संसद का नया भवन 28 तारीख को लोकार्पण करने वाले हैं। देश को समर्पित करने वाले कांग्रेस दल, कांग्रेस पार्टी और उनके साथी राजनीति कर ओछी राजनीति का एक उदाहरण पेश कर उसका बहिष्कार बहाना बना रहे कि महामहिम राष्ट्रपति इसका उद्घाटन। मैं आज आसाम के हजारों युवाओं के सामने, लाखों लोगों के सामने इनको पूछना चाहता हूं। मेरे पास सार्वजनिक सूचनाओं से एकत्रित कुछ इंफॉर्मेशन है। मैं कांग्रेस पार्टी को पूछना चाहता हूं, छत्तीसगढ़ में विधानसभा का भूमि पूजन श्रीमती सोनिया गांधी, श्री राहुल गांधी और वहां के मुख्यमंत्री ने किया। उस वक्त राज्यपाल महोदया कहां थी? वो ट्राइबल थी, आपने नहीं बुलाया। झारखंड विधानसभा का भूमि पूजन श्री हेमंत सोरेन जी ने किया, उन्होंने भी राज्यपाल महोदय को नहीं बुलाया। असम में श्री तरुण गोगोई ने किया, उस वक्त भी राज्यपाल को नहीं बुलाया। मणिपुर विधानसभा का लोकार्पण श्रीमती सोनिया गांधी और डॉक्टर मनमोहन सिंह ने किया, राज्यपाल नहीं थे। आंध्र प्रदेश में चंद्रबाबू नायडू जी ने किया और तमिलनाडु में श्रीमती सोनिया गांधी और मनमोहन सिंह और मुख्यमंत्री ने किया। मैं आज कांग्रेस के मित्रों को पूछना चाहता हूं, जब आप करते हो तब ये सब कुछ ठीक होता है, और जब भारतीय जनता पार्टी करती है, मोदी जी करते हैं, आपकी वक्र दृष्टि इसका बहिष्कार करती है।
All right, joining us on The Nation Wants to Know, we have former Union Minister and Member of Parliament, Ravi Shankar Prasad. Sir, today we had a lot of opposition parties saying that the President, coming from the tribal community, is being insulted by your government because she is not being allowed to inaugurate the Parliament.
First of all, I would again appeal to the opposition leaders. The new parliament is the crown of Indian democracy. Please reconsider what treatment you have given to Draupadi Murmu ji in the past is available on the records of your channel. Let's not go into that. Let's keep the president aloof from all this motivated controversy. But I would like to say 2-3 things today. Speaker invited the Prime Minister. Speaker of Lok Sabha is the custodian of the House. And Padmaja is the Prime Minister alien to the House. The Prime Minister, the leader of the majority party, accountable to Lok Sabha, therefore he is the Prime Minister. And Narendra Modi is only among the 4 Prime Ministers of India since independence who were elected by the people of India as Prime Minister. Jawaharlal Nehru, Indira Gandhi, Atal Bihari Vajpayee and Narendra Modi. Rajiv Gandhi became because of the sentiments of his mother unfortunate assassination. The rest all were accidental. Rajiv Bhai was not voted. Loknayak JP was voted. We were activists of the JP movement. If Lal Bahadur Shastri would have lived, he would have been elected. The rest I am not going to mention, you know it very well, whether from Gujarat to Devegowda to Charan Singh to Chandrasekhar to VP Singh. But the Prime Minister is also a part of the Parliament under the instant constitutional reference. The third thing Amit Shah ji has already elaborately explained. But I wish to take Congress's objection head on. Why they did not come in the foundation laying ceremony of the Parliament? Why did it not? Have any Congress leader, whether Sonia Gandhi or Priyanka ji or Rahul Gandhi, have gone to Sardar Patel's Statue of Unity, even showered 2 flowers in respect? Lakhs of people come to pay their regards, the tallest statue of the world. Padmaja, just behind the India Gate, there is an extraordinary martyrs memorial for the fallen soldiers, again by Modi ji, constructed. You can, by a click of button, you can garland the statue of Abdul Hamid or other Paramveer Chakra awardees. Has any Congress leader gone there? The issue is not Rashtrapati ji is being called or not. The issue is Narendra Modi ne kiya hai, isliye hum nahi jayenge. That is the real issue. Now this whole pathological hatred against Narendra Modi ji has gone for 9 years. You have lost, and lost will lose again. But today, rise above divide. Indian Parliament is the glue of Indian democracy. That's what I would like to urge.
But then do you suspect the coming session, when it happens in this new Parliament, is going to be equally stormy? Because the inauguration can be boycotted. What about the subsequent sessions?
So what new you are saying, Padmaja, such an experienced journalist? Didn't you see Mr. Rahul Gandhi on the presidential address spoke all the nonsense? I'm sorry to tell you that. politically speaking, without homework, wildest allegations made. I had the privilege to respond at the command of the party that I should reply. The PM gave a sterling reply. Was the Prime Minister allowed to speak in the Lok Sabha? Raj Sabha, I'm sorry. For 2 hours he spoke and all the Congress people came in the well and were shouting him down. Yet he spoke. That is their democratic commitment. That's what I would like to say. Therefore, we will try to respect. And by the way, does India appreciate? No, it does not. Do the people of India appreciate? They do not.
But, you know, I want to quote to you Mr. Arvind Kejriwal. He said that this is a trend being followed by this government. प्रभु श्री राम मंदिर के शिलान्यास पर मोदी जी ने तत्कालीन राष्ट्रपति श्री रामनाथ कोविंद जी को नहीं बुलाया। नए संसद भवन के शिलान्यास पर मोदी जी ने श्री रामनाथ कोविंद जी को नहीं बुलाया। अब नए संसद भवन के उद्घाटन पर मौजूदा राष्ट्रपति श्रीमती द्रौपदी मुर्मू के हाथों से नहीं करवा रहे देश भर का एससी और एसटी समाज पूछ रहा है क्या हमें अशुभ माना जाता है, इसलिए नहीं बुलाते?
पहली बात, केजरीवाल जी अपने पार्टी के नेताओं का कैसा सम्मान करते हैं ये आप पूछिए कुमार विश्वास से कि उनको हाईकोर्ट में बेल लेना पड़ता है, और टाइम्स नाउ के पत्रकार आपको क्या तंग पंजाब में क्या आप पूछिए कि वो कितना डेमोक्रेटिक कमिटमेंट से काम करते हैं। बट तो कि लेकिन लोग बात कह रहे हैं तो पद्मजा मैं आपसे एक बात कहना चाहता हूं। There is a Teen-Murti House Museum in Delhi, which was the sole monopoly of Jawaharlal Nehru. See Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Today, museum of all the Prime Ministers of India, from Nehru ji to Indira Gandhi to Gulzar Nanda to Morarji Desai to Rajiv Gandhi to Charan Singh to Chandrasekhar to VP Singh to Atal Bihari Vajpayee to Deve Gowda to Inder Gujral, all are there. Not of Narendra Modi ji. That showed the tall character of Narendra Modi. And please show from your clippings his first address on 15th of August from the ramparts of Red Fort. What he said: today I wish to compliment all the former Prime Ministers of India right from 1947, whose effort has led to the growth of India, which I am going to do it faster. That is Narendra Modi ji. देखो पद्मजा, रियल प्रॉब्लम है कि देश को चलाने का लीज तो हमारे पास है, हमारे परिवार के पास है, ये कहां से आ गए? दैट इज द प्रॉब्लम. So if that is the arrogance and people don't vote to them, we can't help.
All right, I'm going to leave it at that, Mr. Ravi Shankar Prasad. Let's hope that in the interest of cooperation at least and the honor of the parliament, there will be a rethink on the decision to boycott. Thanks very much, Mr. Ravi Shankar Prasad, for joining me. On the 28th of May, when the Prime Minister of the country unveils this new parliament building, an important historical symbol will be restored to its glory as well. The Sengol, which symbolizes the transfer of power from the British to independent India, will be placed near the chair of the Lok Sabha Speaker. The Prime Minister has drawn the symbol out of oblivion and brought it to the center of the country's imagination. The sad reality, though, is that this Sengol, which was last used to symbolize one of India's most epic moments, was gathering dust in a museum in Prayagraj, where it was callously tagged a golden walking stick gifted to Nehru. For decades, the Sengol lied in the Prayagraj Museum, and it was only last year that it was brought to Delhi. The interesting thing, though, is that it all started with an article in the Tughlaq, which eventually was translated by Dr. Padma Subramaniam, who then sent it to the Prime Minister with a letter, and that is how the circle of events was set in motion, thanks to which the Sengol is finally being restored to the glory that it deserves. So let me go across, in fact, now to Dr. Padma Subramaniam. Ma'am, when was actually the first time that the mention of the Sengol struck you? Because most people are still left wondering, where did this come from the blue?
Well, when I read the article by Sri Gurumurthy ji in his Tamil weekly Tughlaq, I was moved by that article, and I thought it needed nationwide publicity, and that's why I decided to translate the whole article into English, and with a covering letter requesting Prime Minister Ji to make the Sengol somehow part of Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, and publicize that historic event that took place on August 1947. And I wrote the letter. Didn't expect a reply immediately though. After that, I think PM did see the letter, and a lot of research had gone into it, I hear, to see whether all the matter mentioned there are true, and a lot of work had been done by IGNCA Delhi and also Ministry of Culture, and when they found everything in order, I'm so happy that instead of just making it one more event in this celebration of 75th year, this is going to be installed in the new Parliament House permanently, standing aloft, proclaiming the pride of our country.
That's going to happen now, but did you see the pictures that have now emerged of how the Sengol was kept in a museum in Prayagraj, and it was labeled as a walking stick of Nehruji? How did you react to those pictures when you first saw them?
Well, sometimes, ignorance can be comical, so you just laugh it out.
But ma'am, do you think it was just mere ignorance, or was there an effort to try and sideline or wipe out a part of our history? Because how can one be ignorant of something that is part of the very moment when we got our independence?
I would rather think that it was ignorance and nothing done purposely, because nobody can imagine that Sengol to become a walking stick. It's really comical.
And yet, that's how it stayed for close to 7 decades, more than 7 decades. But now, are you satisfied that it will get the pride of place, it will get the kind of respect that it deserves inside India's new parliament?
Absolutely right. I think this is the place for it. And it's a beautiful piece of art also. I had not seen it directly, but the photographs that I see makes me more proud. It's really a beautiful piece of art. And the Sengol culture, the habit of giving the scepter to the king when he is being coronated, has been there all over India and some other parts of the world as well. And it's just not 1,000 years old heritage, but not only within Tamil Nadu of today, even Kerala has a place in it, because Silappatikaram mentions, Tamil epic Silappatikaram mentions Sengol. And when the Chera king by mistake give orders for beheading the hero, when he realizes through Kannagi's argument that he did a mistake, the man dies of guilt, and when he dies he says, "My Sengol has bent." This is what I'm quoting Ilango Adigal's lines. So Sengol has a great significance. It stands straight to show the straightforwardness of governance, the justice, the equality that is given to all the subjects, and hence it is of great significance. It's not a walking stick, definitely.
But, you know, a lot has been said about how in 1947, because of the scars of partition, because of other reasons, there was a very deep discomfort in our political class with having too much religion interfere with governance. Nehruji in particular wanted to keep the two apart. Did the Sengol also become a victim to this, that nobody wanted too much of a religious influence or too much of a Hindu influence on the moment of independence, and how history of the moment of moment that India got independence would be related?
Well, I think there is a distinction between religion and spiritualism. Moral and ethical values are very important for governance, and it is coming under the shade of spiritualism. And I think India has a culture which is spiritual based. It's a spiritual culture that India has, and that is the difference between India and many other countries, particularly the West. And India has to be India. I don't find any reason why India should be something else. I don't know why, for what reason, or maybe it was not intentional that the scepter was ignored. I don't want to go into what happened at that point of time. It's difficult to judge. But anyway, instead of lamenting over the mistake that was done for the past 75 years, I think best thing will be to start life afresh, celebrate.
Well, and a celebration is going to happen on Sunday by the looks of it. Now, what would you like to say to the Prime Minister, given that even you said you could not believe that the Prime Minister would respond to your letter, and not just respond in this fashion, to get the Sengol and put it right there inside the Parliament? Well,
100 pranams to our beloved Prime Minister. This gives me, I'm tongue-tied. I'm really tongue-tied because I never expected this kind of a reaction to my letter. And like the squirrel in the Ramayana, I have done something very little in all my, not only Deva Bhakti, but Desha Bhakti. I am a nationalist, and I am so proud that I had something to do with it. Thank you so much for your calling me to your channel.
Thank you very much, ma'am, and thank you also for writing that letter, for chancing upon that article in Tughlaq. The country will thank you for that, and all the culture and the lovers of Indian culture will thank you as well. That's it then from me on this edition of The Nation Wants to Know. I will see you next at 10 p.m. on the News Hour.